Hi, my name is Renee Wilson, and I've been your principal harpist in South Bend for the last 30 years. It's been a long time, I know. I came straight out of graduate school, and I just thought the wonderful ensemble, the beautiful river town, and all the great people, I just haven't had any desire to go away, and it's been such a real privilege to play for you for all of these years. I'm talking to you right now from my house on the south side of Chicago. I've lived here for 25 of the years that I've played for you. I'm in Morgan Park, one of the Chicago neighborhoods, and I live here with my husband Pete, and our two college-age kids are home right now too, Hank and Lila. And I'm talking to you from kind of the, it's the area I always practice in, but it's the sort of in-between of the living room and the dining room. And it was just sort of an unused corner, and had the fewest stairs necessary to get in and out from this place, so this has always been where I've practiced. But this area has another designation by my family, and they call it the office. And you would think that would have something to do with me being here, but it does not. And with my subpar camera work here, I'm going to try to show you who the denizens of the office really are. Get this turned around, and there they are. We've got their Lester is the black and white, and Jeff, who just raised up his head, is the brown, and those are our two collie dogs. And this is actually their office, not mine. I'm going to actually take one other picture for you. I tried to get it on camera before, but like I say, my camera work is totally subpar. I'm going to take a picture of what I am looking at on the other side of this music stand, and I'm going to send that to you, or put it rather in the video, because the next time that you see my beautiful harp on stage, I want you to think of it in its natural habitat in the office, with dog toys strewn all about. There's actually sort of an unfortunate chicken that lost its head just a couple of days ago, but that's what my harp is used to sitting in between. It's a treat to be able to bring it to South Bend and put it in such a sophisticated and sensible situation as you have for all of us out there. I should not put that down. All right. So one of the questions that they had for us to answer was, what are our favorite composers? And I have to tell you that although, of course, I tend to gravitate towards the romantic and the contemporary composers, because that's where the harp parts always are going to be, I really don't have a favorite composer. I love the entire sort of process of coming out with your part and finding out how it fits in, not only with the music that you've already heard via recording, but with the actual performers that are there and what the conductor's ideas are. And I'm prepared every single week I come out to fall in love with a piece. And yeah, sometimes you find a piece you don't like so much, but mostly it's just a matter of falling in love over and over again with things that you either never knew, or you never knew them in quite that way. And I love that so much. My favorite music making memory is really sort of along those lines. And it was the Shostakovich 5 that we played a few years ago with Alistair. And you've probably noticed, for those of you that have been long-time patrons, that I've changed sides of the orchestra. I used to be behind the violins, now I'm over by the basses. And the third movement of the Shostakovich is very quiet, a lot of quiet angst. And at the very end, there is a duet for the celeste and the harp. And we actually play in unison, which is surprisingly much harder than you would think. And of course, this particular time, we were completely across the orchestra from each other. And I've played this piece many times, and I love the movements, it's lovely, but all of a sudden, Alistair talked about how we were sending up this prayer together, me and the celeste player, and it just, for me, absolutely changed everything in my head. I knew exactly what we were doing, and it was a really exciting moment to be able to have that quiet contemplation, maybe even desperation written into the music. And, we let that rise up, and then the rest of the players were able to come in with the wonderful final movement, and I felt like we set it up beautifully for them, and they ran with it, and it was such an exciting moment for me as a musician. certainly a lot of things have changed in the past weeks and months. I've gone back to an old hobby that I used to have when the kids were living here. I like to think of it as manipulation through cooking. So a lot of times it's a straight barter system. If you will take your dirty clothes from under your bed and put them where dirty clothes actually go, I will make for you the butterscotch sauce that has vanilla ice cream tasting like magic. Sometimes it's just me really trying to change their attitude. So when they first arrived home, they told me that they really didn't see meatloaf in their future. We're not liking meatloaf, but meatloaf was what I had bought for supplies for the quarantine, so I needed them to eat meatloaf. I now can tell you that I make an absolutely gorgeous chipotle meatloaf that burns your mouth to the point that teenagers and kids in their 20s like meatloaf again. So if you need that, you can call me and I will get that to you. As far as playing for you, I wanted to play a really amazing excerpt for you, and then I remembered that I wasn't practicing any really amazing excerpts, so that was for sure a problem. This time of year is always a transition time for me from playing for the symphony and kind of getting done with my classical commitments, and usually mid-May I turn my attention to weddings. So although I don't have anything on the books at the moment, I just thought from a sense of normalcy it would be nice to do what I've done so many other years. So indeed I have taken out my wedding music, and my approach to wedding music is to learn as many quirky things as I can, hoping that I will grab each client and convince them that I should be the one to play for their wedding. So I thought I would play you the most recent thing that I've been working on, which is When I'm 64 by the Beatles. And it's surprisingly hard. The stinking Beatles, they wrote hard songs. And this little excerpt I'm going to play for you has 23 pedal changes in it in under a minute. So it's certainly been very challenging, and that's what I'm doing to keep myself out of trouble during the quarantine. I hope you're all well, and that I can be back playing some wonderful excerpt in context for you really, really soon. And now I really need to tune the harp and change microphones, so I'm going to leave you and come back and see you truly sitting behind the harp. Thanks for listening.